If you're interested in financial aid for college or career school, you're going to need to fill out the free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA. It takes most people about 30 minutes to complete online, and the best part, it's 100% free. And it provides you with access to grants, loans, and work-study funds from the federal government. And many colleges and states use FAFSA information to provide their own college or state financial aid. Your FAFSA can be completed online at fafsa.gov, and help is provided throughout the online application process. You'll need to fill out the FAFSA each year you're in school because your financial situation may change. Plus, if you've already filed your taxes, you may be able to automatically retrieve the information from the IRS. If you haven't filed yet, don't worry. You can use estimated tax information and correct the information later. Each state and college or career school sets its own deadline for the FAFSA, so it's best to get it done early. Since some of the funds are available on a first-come, first-served basis, you don't want to miss out. Now that you know about the FAFSA, you might be asking, well, how much money will I get? Your college or career school will do the math, and there's a simple formula that they use. First, the college takes your cost of attendance, which is the total amount it will cost you to go to that school. Your cost of attendance will vary from school to school. Then, the college subtracts your expected family contribution, or EFC. Your EFC is based on information provided in your FAFSA and will not change based on the school you attend. However, the EFC is not necessarily the amount of money you will have to pay. Basically, your cost of attendance minus your EFC equals your financial need. Your college uses your financial need and other information to determine how much financial aid you can receive. We offer more than $150 billion to students each year in the form of grants, loans, and work-study funds. And federal student aid can be used to pay for school expenses, such as tuition, room and board, and books and supplies. After you've filled out the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, you'll receive an award letter from each school you list on your FAFSA. This letter explains both the federal and non-federal financial aid options that a school is offering you. So let's talk about federal aid. If you qualify for and receive a federal grant, you won't have to repay the money. That will definitely help offset the cost of school, but you may still need additional help. If so, a federal student loan might be your answer. Remember, a student loan is just like any other loan. It's borrowed money that will have to be repaid with interest. If you plan to take out a loan, consider federal student loans first. Compared to private student loans, federal student loans often have lower fixed interest rates and offer many benefits that you won't find otherwise. For example, when it's time for you to repay your federal student loan, your loan servicer can work with you to find the best repayment plan for your individual needs. Plus, you may be able to adjust your loan payments based on your income. You also may be able to defer your federal loan payments, deduct student loan interest on your taxes, and even consolidate your eligible federal student loans into one loan with one monthly payment. Federal loans can even be forgiven based on certain types of employment. Getting a work-study job is another great option to help pay for school. Eligible undergraduate and graduate students will be able to earn at least minimum wage.
After you file your FAFSA, please log into your Banner self-service through My LCC. Click on Banner from the portal, then select Financial Aid and Financial Aid Record. Here you can view general information, student requirements, and your awards. Clicking directly on a student requirement will take you to the LCC Financial Aid website. You can print and submit these forms directly to the Financial Aid office. Processing time is generally 4 weeks. On the LCC Financial Aid homepage, you will find links to important websites and other information such as disbursement dates and deadlines. We highly recommend that students review basic information regarding the 4 types of financial aid. You can read more about grants, including the Pell Grant, and loans, including information on how to complete loan entrance counseling, how to sign a promissory note, and information on estimating your monthly repayment amount. We also have information on hundreds of LCC scholarships and work-study opportunities, where you earn a paycheck through the Career and Employment Services Department. Students who understand and follow the financial aid policies will avoid common mistakes and misunderstandings. There are policies regarding basic eligibility requirements, such as the need to file a FAFSA and declare a qualifying program of study, how being full-time or part-time determines the amount of aid you can receive, and how dropping and adding classes can immediately impact your eligibility. We also clarify the academic requirements for financial aid. Students must maintain an overall 2.0 grade point average. Students must also pass at least 70% of the classes they sign up for. For example, passing only 8 out of 12 credits is 67% completion. Finally, if a student drops or fails all classes, they may be required to repay financial aid immediately. When you have questions about your financial aid, it's important that you work directly with the professionals in the financial aid department. Our experts are always ready to help you when you call or stop by the office. You can also email us your questions or make an appointment to see a financial aid advisor. Remember, keep track of your financial aid status and awards in Banner Self-Service. Review important deadlines, disbursement dates, and policies on the financial aid homepage, and please contact us whenever you have questions.
Okay, let's review financial aid case study number 1. In this example, John filed the FAFSA and was awarded a federal Pell Grant. He attended orientation and signed up for 3 classes. Halfway through the semester, he realized he was failing one of his classes and decided to stop attending it. He decided to focus on his other 2 classes. By the end of the semester, John had passed 2 classes and failed 1. What should John have done when he realized he was failing his class? Well, John's first step would be to contact his professor. Sometimes students feel embarrassed about their performance and are afraid to talk to their professor, but this is the very person who can assist you best in getting back on track in the course. John could also connect with his peers and form a study group. He could seek out tutoring services, and he could make an appointment to speak with an academic advisor, a financial aid advisor, or a personal counselor. Will John remain eligible for his Pell Grant next semester? John's financial aid status eligibility will actually become suspended for the next semester since he did not complete 70% of his courses. It is possible, however, for some students to reinstate their eligibility through an appeal with the financial aid office. If John had failed all 3 of his classes, would he have had to repay some of his Pell Grant? If John dropped or failed all classes, he would most likely have to immediately repay a portion of his financial aid. He would not be able to register for the next semester or receive more financial aid until it was paid back. Okay, let's look at financial aid case study number 2. Casey filed the FAFSA and was awarded a federal student loan. Casey works part-time and lives at home with her parents in Lansing. She already went online and completed the required loan entrance counseling and master promissory note. She then went into her Banner Self-Service and accepted the maximum amount of loans. Questions. What should Casey think about before accepting a loan? Well, the first thing Casey should be thinking about is exactly how much money she really needs to borrow. Investing in your education is a big financial step, and we recommend that all students estimate their actual costs, prepare a budget, and stick to it. Since Casey lives at home, she probably doesn't need loans for room and board or transportation expenses and should really only be borrowing just enough to pay for tuition and books. Will Casey have to pay her loans back if she doesn't graduate? Yes. What if she can't find a good paying job? Yes. What if she files for bankruptcy? Yes. Student loans are a significant financial investment and should be treated as such. That's why we always recommend that students borrow the absolute minimum for what they really need. Third question, will Casey end up repaying more than she actually borrowed? Yes, Casey will end up paying her loans back with interest. If Casey borrows the maximum amount of loans for 3 years, she could be in debt at least $17,000. This would mean that she would be paying back over $200 a month for at least 10 years, and she would end up actually paying back somewhere between $22,000 and $26,000. That's up to $9,000 in just interest alone. If Casey only borrowed just enough to pay for tuition and books, she'd pay back only $100 a month and pay back as little as $1,500 in interest. Okay, last case study, number 3. Patrick filed the FAFSA and got an email from financial aid telling him that he had student requirements. He signed into Banner Self-Service and submitted the appropriate forms to the financial aid office. They told him that it would take several weeks to process the paperwork. He has not been awarded any financial aid. Should Patrick still register and start classes? This is ultimately going to be up to Patrick to decide. Students who enroll in classes are entering into a contract to pay for those classes even if financial aid doesn't come through. If Patrick does enroll and pay for his classes and then later is awarded financial aid, we can reimburse him. If he does register, what can he do about books and supplies while his aid is being processed? Well, he could buy the books himself or ask a family member to help him purchase them. He may be able to rent textbooks or see if there are books on reserve in the LCC library for his classes. How can Patrick stay up to date with the processing of his financial aid? Well, Patrick should be checking his LCC email and his financial aid record at least once a week through the My LCC portal. He can also call or stop by the office, and he can always make an appointment to see a financial aid advisor.
One other thing that we want to cover is how students will receive refunds, regardless of if they are a financial aid student or not. So if you go to the LCC homepage and click on Payments and Refunds, in the upper left-hand corner you can click on Refunds, and there will be information here about the Lansing CC debit card. This is a card that will be issued to all students after they register for courses. They receive the card in about 3 to 10 days after they register, as long as they're 18 or older. And this is where we deposit refunds to students, whether that's tuition they've paid they want to get reimbursed on, if they've dropped their classes, or they're getting a loan or a grant refunded to them. All students are going to receive this LCC debit card in the mail, and they can activate the card. They have a couple of different options in terms of activating this checking account. They can leave the refunds on this checking account, or they can have the money transfer from it into their own personal bank account. There are instructions that come with the card when you receive it in the mail. The last thing that we want to cover is how students can receive financial aid refunds to purchase books and supplies. So for purchasing books, students who have financial aid in excess of tuition and fees will be eligible for a book voucher through the MBS Direct online bookstore. When you go to this website, you can search for Lansing Community College. It will bring up our website, and you'll have, if you have extra financial aid, you'll have a book voucher in here in which you can use to order your books. For students who need supplies that they can't purchase through the MBS Direct bookstore, they'll be eligible for up to a $250 supply advance, depending on the amount of financial aid that they're eligible for. LCC will be publishing more information on this process on our website soon.